The ultimate self-sufficient garden guide. You know what keeps me up at night? The thought of running out of homegrown food. That's why I'm about to reveal the exact crops that will keep your family fed year-round, no matter what happens. Listen, I've been gardening for over 15 years, and I've made every mistake you can imagine. But through all those failures, I discovered something incredible. You don't need to grow 100 different varieties to be truly self-sufficient. In fact, growing too many varieties is probably why most gardeners struggle. So here's what we're doing today on Backyard Crops. I challenged myself with one simple question. If I could only plant one variety of each essential crop for an entire year, which ones would guarantee maximum harvest, minimal hassle, and actual food security? The answer surprised even me. And hey, if you're serious about growing your own food and want to see more tested, proven techniques like this, go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now. Trust me, you'll want these tips in your feed when planting season hits. Drop a comment below telling me which crop you're most excited to try. And smash that like button if you're ready to level up your garden game this year. Now, before we dig into this, I want you to think about your garden right now. The beds are probably clearing out, winter settling in. This is the perfect moment to plan your most productive season yet. Everything I'm sharing today comes from real experience, real harvests, and real results in my own backyard. Let's get into it.
Roots and tubers. Crop number 1, potatoes. I'm gonna lose some of you right here, and I know it. When it comes to potatoes, everyone expects me to say one thing. But I'm not going with the obvious choice. Instead, I'm recommending Charlotte potatoes, and here's exactly why. Charlotte potatoes have completely changed how I think about self-sufficiency. The flavor is absolutely superior to almost anything else you can grow. We're talking buttery, smooth, incredibly versatile potatoes that work whether you're harvesting them young or letting them mature. Here's the thing about Charlotte. They're insanely productive. I'm talking about yields that will genuinely shock you when you start digging. The plants are vigorous, the tubers come out remarkably clean from the soil, and you can use them in so many ways. Harvest them early and you've got perfect new potatoes. Let them grow a bit longer and they roast beautifully. But the real genius of Charlotte is that they're a second early variety, not a main crop. What does that mean for you? It means you're dodging the worst of the blight pressure that destroys main crop potatoes later in the season. You get your harvest in before the disease really takes hold. That's food security right there. Crop number 2, carrots. Carrots are tricky, and I'll be straight with you about why. There are dozens of incredible carrot varieties out there. Some taste amazing. Some grow perfectly straight. Some have gorgeous colors. But when we're talking about genuine self-sufficiency, we need to talk about the enemy, carrot root fly. This pest devastates carrot crops. You can use barriers, you can time your plantings, you can try all sorts of preventative measures. But when you're juggling 20 different crops and trying to feed your family, you need something that just works without all the extra hassle. That's why I'm going with resist-a-fly carrots. The name tells you everything. This variety has built-in resistance to carrot root fly. You're not sacrificing much in terms of flavor either. These carrots taste excellent, grow reliably, and most importantly, they'll actually make it to your kitchen instead of becoming pest food. Sometimes being self-sufficient means making smart choices over perfect choices. Resist-a-fly is a smart choice. Crop number 3, beetroot. Now we're getting into territory where I genuinely struggle to pick just one variety. I absolutely love beetroot. It's one of those crops that does so much for you. The roots are amazing, the greens are edible, it stores well, and you can cook it 1,000 different ways. But I keep coming back to one variety year after year. Bold Darty beetroot. Here's why this one wins. First, it's incredibly dependable. The germination is solid, the growth is consistent, and you get uniform roots that are easy to harvest and process. Second, it's widely available. You won't struggle to find seeds for Bold Darty. The flavor is where it really shines though. Slow roast these beetroots in the oven with a little olive oil and salt, and you'll understand why I keep growing it. Sweet, earthy, absolutely delicious. And the productivity per square meter is genuinely impressive. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on Backyard Crops if you're finding this helpful. We've got so much more to cover, and I don't want you missing out on future videos where I break down exactly how to grow each of these crops successfully. Crop number 4, summer radishes. For summer radishes, I'm going with French breakfast. You'll find this variety in almost every seed catalog, and there's a good reason for that. It performs. French breakfast grows fast. I'm talking 3 to 4 weeks from seed to harvest fast. That means you can succession plant these throughout the entire growing season and always have fresh radishes available. The shape is distinctive, kind of elongated with that white tip, and they've got a nice mild spice to them. Here's a bonus most people don't know. You can eat the tops. The leaves are edible and actually pretty tasty in salads or sautéed. Same goes for carrot tops and beet greens. When you're focused on self-sufficiency, using every part of the plant becomes important. Crop number 6, winter radishes. Winter radishes are completely different from summer varieties, and if you've never grown them, you're missing out on a serious self-sufficiency powerhouse. I'm recommending daikon radish, also called mooli. These radishes grow massive. We're talking roots that can be over a foot long and several inches thick. One daikon radish can feed multiple people. You can grate them, pickle them, cook them in stir fries, or eat them raw. The versatility is incredible. But here's the real strategic reason I love daikon. Timing. You're harvesting your carrots and beetroots in August typically. That leaves bed space open. You can plant daikon in mid to late summer, and it'll give you a substantial harvest right through autumn and into winter. It's perfect for extending your harvest season when other crops are finishing up. Crop number 6, parsnips. I've been growing the same parsnip variety for over 12 years now. When something works this well, you don't mess with it. I'm talking about tender and true parsnips. This is probably one of the most traditional varieties out there, and gardeners grow it for one simple reason. It's excellent. The roots grow long and straight, they've got fantastic flavor, and they're incredibly reliable in terms of germination and growth. Here's a pro tip for anyone growing parsnips. Don't harvest them until after the first frost. Cold weather converts the starch in parsnips into sugars as a protective mechanism. For us, that means sweeter, more flavorful parsnips. It's one of those beautiful moments where nature does the work for us. Crop number 7, turnips. Tokyo Cross turnips have earned their permanent spot in my garden. They're fast-growing, incredibly reliable, and they produce these beautiful, almost perfectly white turnips that look like they came from a grocery store. Here's the secret to enjoying turnips. Harvest them small. When they're about golf ball size, they have a much milder flavor without that harsh turnip taste some people don't like. The texture is crisp and pleasant, and again, you can eat the tops as well. The speed of Tokyo Cross is what really makes it valuable for self-sufficiency. You can fit a crop of these into small windows of time between other plantings. Crop number 8, bulb fennel. Fennel has a reputation for being tricky, mainly because it tends to bolt or run to seed prematurely if it gets stressed. That's why variety selection matters so much with this crop. I'm growing rondo fennel, and it's been fantastic. This variety is much more bolt resistant than many others, which means you actually get those nice bulbs instead of just flowers. The flavor is classic fennel, that anise-like taste that people either love or hate. If you're in the love fennel camp like I am, rondo is productive, reliable, and tasty. It's worth the space in a self-sufficient garden. Alliums, crop number 9, onions. Here's where I'm going to sound like a broken record to longtime viewers, but I'm saying it again because it matters. Stew-on onions grown from sets are the way to go for self-sufficiency. I've been growing stew-on for years. I have never had a single issue with them bolting or running to seed prematurely. Compare that to some red varieties I've tried in the past that kept flowering on me, and you'll understand why I stick with what works.
Growing from sets instead of seeds saves you so much hassle. No starting tiny seedlings indoors, no hardening off, no transplanting stress. You literally stick the sets in the ground and they want to grow. Sturon has this incredible vigor that just produces reliable harvests year after year. Here's a money-saving tip. Don't buy those small bags of sets at garden centers. They're overpriced. Instead, buy in bulk online. Get together with a few gardening friends, split a larger order, and suddenly you're getting sets for a fraction of the cost. If you're enjoying this video, share it with someone who wants to grow their own food. Comment below with your favorite crop so far, and don't forget to like this video. It genuinely helps more people discover backyard crops and start their self-sufficiency journey. Crop number 10, leeks. Leeks are one of my absolute favorite crops, and choosing just one variety was genuinely difficult. But thinking about self-sufficiency, I need a leek that's incredibly hardy and stands in the ground for a long time without bolting. That's why I'm going with banded leeks. I can harvest banded from October all the way through to May in my climate. That's a 7-month harvest window from a single planting. Even when I'm running low on stored onions in late winter and early spring, I've still got fresh leeks in the ground. Leeks are versatile too. You can chop and freeze them for use in recipes throughout the year. They're fantastic in soups, stews, stir-fries, or just braised on their own. Banded gives you all of that with incredible reliability. Crop number 11, garlic. Garlic is another tough category because there are some excellent varieties available. I'm recommending you start with Casco white garlic. It's a reliable variety that produces well and stores decently. But I'm going to be a bit cheeky here and suggest you also try elephant garlic if you can source it. Now, technically, elephant garlic isn't true garlic. It's more closely related to leeks, but you can use it exactly like garlic, and it's incredibly easy to grow. The initial investment in elephant garlic can be pricey, but here's the beautiful part. Once you've grown it, you can keep replanting the cloves year after year. It's productive, less fussy than regular garlic, and gives you these massive cloves that are fantastic roasted or used in cooking.
Fruiting vegetables. Crop number 12, courgettes, zucchini. For courgettes, I'm keeping it simple and going with Romanesco. This variety has a lovely light-colored skin, it looks beautiful in the garden, and is genuinely productive. Here's the trick with courgettes. Harvest size matters. Pick them small, and you get a more buttery, delicate flavor. Let them grow larger, and they're perfect for grilling or stuffing. Romanesco handles both approaches well and just keeps producing throughout the season. Crop number 13, winter squash. Winter squash could fill an entire video on its own, but for self-sufficiency, I'm choosing Uchiki curry squash. The reason comes down to practicality and size. You can grow absolutely enormous squash varieties. I'm talking about ones that weigh 20 or 30 pounds, but then you have to process all of that at once or it goes bad. Uchiki curry is a more manageable size. Each squash is big enough to feed a family for a meal or two, but not so massive that you're overwhelmed. The flavor is sweet and rich, it stores incredibly well through winter, and it's just genuinely usable in the kitchen. That combination of productivity, storage, and usability makes it perfect for self-sufficiency. Crop number 14, outdoor cucumber. Cucumber variety selection depends heavily on whether you're growing outdoors or undercover, so I'm giving you both options. For outdoor growing, I'm going with Marketmore cucumbers. This variety consistently delivers good results in outdoor conditions. Yes, the skin can be a bit tougher than greenhouse varieties, but you can easily peel it if that bothers you. The cucumbers themselves are pleasant tasting, productive, and reliable. I grow Marketmore outdoors every single year because it just works without fuss. Crop number 15, greenhouse cucumber. If you have a polytunnel or greenhouse, the winner by a country mile is Passandra F1. This is a hybrid variety, and before anyone gets concerned about that, let me explain why hybrids sometimes make sense. When your goal is to feed your family as much as possible, some hybrid varieties simply outperform heirlooms by a significant margin. Passandra is one of those cases. The productivity is absolutely incredible. I've been growing it for 3 or 4 years now, and it consistently produces more cucumbers than any other variety I've tried. Sometimes self-sufficiency means being practical about what actually produces the most food, even if it means growing a hybrid instead of saving seeds. Crop number 18, aubergine, eggplant. For aubergines, I'm keeping it straightforward with Black Beauty. This is a standard variety you can find almost anywhere, and you can even buy it as a seedling if you don't want to deal with starting it from seed. Black Beauty is reliable, productive, and gives you nice glossy fruits that are perfect for all your favorite aubergine recipes. Crop number 17, chilies. Chilies are such a broad category, and I could talk about them forever. But I'm going with padron peppers for self-sufficiency. These aren't super spicy, though you occasionally get a hot one, which makes eating them kind of fun. Padron roulette, anyone. The real appeal is how delicious they are when cooked simply. Just blister them in a hot pan with some olive oil and salt, and you've got an incredible side dish. They're productive, easy to grow, and genuinely tasty. That's what matters. Before we get into tomatoes, make sure you're subscribed to Backyard Crops. We're about to cover some controversial tomato choices, and you'll definitely want to see the deep dive videos I'm planning on each of these varieties. Crop number 18, cherry tomatoes. For cherry tomatoes, I'm going with Gardener's Delight. It's a simple, reliable variety that you can often find as seedlings in garden centers, which makes it perfect for beginners. The tomatoes are sweet, productive, and the plants are vigorous. If you're new to growing tomatoes, starting with something like Gardener's Delight is a smart move. Crop number 19, salad tomatoes. Now, for salad tomatoes, I'm choosing Tigerella. Some of you might have expected me to say green zebra, and I love green zebra. But when it comes to pure productivity and yield, Tigerella wins. The striped tomatoes are beautiful, the flavor is excellent, and the plants just produce more than green zebra in my experience. That's the deciding factor for self-sufficiency. Crop number 20, beefsteak tomatoes. For beefsteak tomatoes, I've had consistently excellent results with the hybrid called Tamina. This variety is dependable year after year, the flavor is great, yields are fantastic, and there's nothing better than thick slices of Tamina tomato on toast with some cheese. Crop number 21, sweet corn. I almost forgot sweet corn, which would have been a disaster, because I absolutely love growing it now. I've had plenty of disasters with sweet corn in the past, but one variety has given me consistent, reliable results even during mediocre summers: early bird sweet corn. Early bird sweet corn is incredibly sweet, simple to grow, and crops earlier than many varieties, which is perfect if you have a shorter growing season. It's transformed sweet corn from something I struggle with into something I genuinely look forward to every year.
Leafy greens. Crop number 22, spinach. For spinach, I'm recommending Matador. This variety doesn't bolt as quickly as some others, it's fairly hardy, and it's easy to source. The key to success with spinach is succession planting. Sow fresh batches every couple of weeks throughout the growing season, and consider growing it in shadier areas during summer to prevent bolting. Matador handles all of this well. Crop number 23, lettuce. Here's where I'm going to cheat slightly. Instead of recommending a single lettuce variety, I'm telling you to get a mixed packet of lettuce seeds and direct sow them over a bed. You'll have more lettuce than you know what to do with. Don't sow the entire packet at once, though. Save half for a later sowing so you have continuous harvests. The mix gives you variety, and you can pick leaves as you need them. Crop number 24, chard. Same approach for chard. Get a mixed pack labeled either Bright Lights or Rainbow Chard. You'll have gorgeous color in your garden, and chard produces a tremendous amount of edible leaves. Legumes. Crop number 25, garden peas. Garden peas are one of my favorite crops. There are so many excellent varieties available, but for reliability and flavor, I grow Ambassador peas every single year. Ambassador is productive, tasty, and just consistently delivers. You can't go wrong with it. Crop number 26, Mangetot or sugar snap peas. For Mangetot or sugar snap peas, Oregon sugar pod is absolutely prolific. This might be my favorite vegetable to add to stir fries, and it's one of the best garden snacks you can grow. The pods are sweet, crunchy, and incredibly satisfying to eat straight off the plant. Crop number 27, dwarf French beans. Dwarf French beans aren't the most productive crop per square meter, but they're useful for filling smaller gaps around the garden. For a reliable variety, I'm going with Annabelle. Crop number 28, runner beans. On the opposite end of the height spectrum, runner beans can grow 7 or 8 feet tall. For a beautiful, productive heritage variety, I'm choosing Scarlet Emperor. The flowers are gorgeous and edible if you want, or you can let them develop into bean pods. You can harvest the pods green, or you can let the beans dry for storage. The versatility is excellent. Crop number 29, broad beans. For broad beans, Aquadoce Claudia is great, but I want you to consider growing field beans instead. These are a smaller type of fava bean. They're a bit more work to pod because of the size, but they're significantly more reliable, super winter hardy, and incredibly productive. I consistently get higher yields per square meter with field beans compared to broad beans. You can find field bean varieties sold as green manure, or look for culinary varieties like Vesper.
Brassicas. Crop number 30, Chinese cabbage. Chinese cabbage produces a huge amount of food very quickly, and it's perfect for planting toward the end of the growing season for another harvest before winter. I always grow a variety called Yuki. It's fast, productive, and tasty. Crop number 31, kale. For kale, I had a tough choice between Cavolo Nero and Dwarf Green Curled. I went with Dwarf Green Curled because it feels more productive per square meter, and it works perfectly for how I like to eat kale, as kale chips with garlic, smoked paprika, and smoked salt. Crop number 32, cabbage. For cabbage, I'm recommending Greyhound. It's productive, creates nice pointed cabbages, it's easy to grow, and it's been around for many years for good reason. Crop number 34, cauliflower. Cauliflower has a reputation for being difficult, but usually that's just because it's not getting enough fertility. This is a very hungry crop. Give it plenty of roll-rotted manure or compost when planting, and you'll be fine. For variety, I'm going with all-year-round cauliflower. It's a bit boring, but it's reliable and tastes fantastic roasted in an air fryer with smoked paprika. Crop number 35, pak choi. Pak choi adds a really pleasant crunch to meals. It's versatile in the kitchen and it grows fast. For a good starting variety, try Joy Choi. There you have it, 35 crops, one variety each, all tested and proven in my own garden here at Backyard Crops. These aren't random recommendations. These are the varieties that have consistently delivered harvests, handled challenges, and kept my family fed year after year. Now it's your turn. Which of these are you going to try? Drop a comment below, share this video with someone who's getting started with self-sufficiency, and if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the detailed growing guides coming for each of these crops. Thanks for watching Backyard Crops. Now get out there and grow some food. I'm Adam Grove, and I'll see you in the next one.